There's nothing worse than finally buying your very first home and then realizing that something just doesn't feel right. The payment is just a little too high, that commute is a little longer than you expected, or you find yourself fixing things that you didn't budget for, especially at the beginning, like right when you move in. So I've seen it happen, and in almost every single case, the regret could have been avoided with the right plan and a little more clarity up front. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, so you can buy your very first home without second guessing your decision later on. Hello, my name is Lynette Selby, and I am a realtor right here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I specialize with helping first-time buyers and relocation clients, especially my clients moving from out of state. And I know how overwhelming this process can feel. But here's the good news. You do not have to go through it blindly. I'm going to share the most common regrets that I've seen from buyers, and most importantly, how you can avoid them. So let's jump into the video. One of the biggest regrets that I've seen is only budgeting for what that lender tells you that you're approved for, and not for what actually works for your lifestyle. Just because that lender tells you that you are approved for $350,000 does not mean that that is the right price point for your lifestyle and your budget. Lenders look at your debt to income ratio, not all of your expenses like your daycare costs, your travel goals, or the fact that you're also saving for a wedding or you're planning for retirement. They don't look at all of that stuff. So I had a couple that was relocating who were really just focused on that mortgage payment, and they didn't fully consider like the HOA fees, utility costs, maintenance, or those unexpected repairs. They were great clients, right? But they called me a few months later after they closed because they were feeling very overwhelmed. And it wasn't because they picked the wrong home. It was more of they didn't budget for all of the expenses that comes along with owning a home. And that's why I tell my clients, be honest about your full monthly expenses, because being comfortable is more important than maxing out that pre-approval amount. I promise you that. And that's exactly what my 90-day first-time buyer blueprint helps you do. It helps you plan step by step before you even start the house hunting process. So the next thing you can do to avoid, that buyer remorse is rushing through the inspection process or even skipping it altogether. So I get it. I know it is so tempting to kind of move fast, especially if it feels like this is the perfect house, but the inspection is one of the most important steps to protect yourself. I've had a client who, they bought a beautiful older home, and the inspection did flag a few minor issues, nothing super urgent, but definitely worth negotiating. I advised her to either request repair credit or ask for the seller to do those repairs. But she was so worried that seller may terminate the offer and walk away that she just wanted to move forward with the home as is. And guess what? A few months later, her water heater failed, her roof started to leak, and a minor plumbing issue turned into a really expensive repair. It was a tough lesson, but it wasn't a surprise. It was something that we talked about ahead of time. But she really just wanted to purchase that home. She didn't want any static, and she just decided to go with it as is. So this is my advice. Ask questions and take your time. Even in a hot market, you have the right to understand what you're buying, right? And again, that is something that I walk my clients through in full detail inside of the blueprint. So the next one is really big, and that is buying a home based on how it looks and not how it lives. So that one is so important. So the kitchen, it could be beautiful. The floors could be absolutely amazing, but you got to ask yourself these questions. How is that morning commute? How far is daycare? Are you close to gyms? Are you close to the grocery stores? And what about your doctor's office? I've had a client who they purchased a beautiful, 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 beautiful home, right? But after moving in, they realized that they were like 45 minutes away from work. They were 30 minutes away from their favorite stores and restaurants, and the school district that they purchased in, it didn't offer all of the programs that were a good fit for their kiddos. And before we went under contract, we talked about all of this, but they were just so sold on that home. It was so beautiful. It was the home home that they felt at that time that would be a perfect fit for their family. But then they came to realize that that location just didn't support their daily life. So here's my advice. Start with your lifestyle, right? Let the layout come second. But most importantly, think about your lifestyle. Think about everything that comes along with it, your commute, your kids, the school, the daycare, all of that, to make sure that that location is a good fit for you. So we'll make sure that you love the home, but most importantly, that you love living in that home. So now you want to know the truth. Almost every regret that I've seen as a realtor was 100% avoidable. And I don't share these stories to scare you, not at all. My goal is to help you feel more confident every single step of the way. And that's exactly why I created my 90-day first-time buyer blueprint, because it gives you a roadmap from budgeting to credit prep to house hunting and even what to do on closing day, so you don't feel lost or you don't feel pressured. So you can grab it below this video. All you got to do is check the link in the description box. And if you want to talk through your personal situation, I would love to hop on a quick call. There is a link in the description box for that too. So if this video has helped you at all, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and even share it with anyone you know that's thinking about buying a home. And let's make sure that you avoid buyer's remorse and you buy the home that you truly love. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Y'all have a good week. Bye-bye.